People say when you have children, everything changes, but maybe things are awakened that were already there. It's a quote by Meryl Streep. Would you like to expand on it?
Sure. I think that's exactly what happened to me with conscious parenting. I thought of life and being a parent and being a mother was going to be one way. But was when I did become a mother, everything shifted and everything changed. But then again, I want to be mindful with what I'm saying. It's not that it changed, it's that things started coming up. And with conscious parenting, we say our children and are in our lives to raise us and to bring us closer to ourselves and our authentic selves. And how do they do that? With how we feel about the experiences, how we are triggered. And the reason we're triggered is because something is already there. So everything inside us is awakened, and it does come up in that journey of motherhood. So that's what comes up for me now.
Yeah, I love this word, awakening. Children, you cannot escape children. We are so used of tuning out from other relationships, and we can do that. But with children, we cannot really move or go away or just take a break for days or months on end, right? Whenever we want to. They are present to awaken something within us. And yes, I relate also with that. Triggers are always within us. And it's so clear because I get triggered by something that my husband has no issue with, and the other way around. And there's just maybe the clearest indicator that the trigger is always within.
Absolutely. And it's like when someone says, but he poked at me, or I think that's the one. But when you poke, it only hurts if there's already a hole, right? For someone to poke through. Or you say someone touched my button, or the button was already there. And these are the kind of pushed my button. These are the kind of buttons that get pushed when a person becomes a parent, because their children are there pushing their buttons. And like you said, you cannot just leave. With a friend, you can decide to take a break or exit a relationship, but with the kids, they are there the whole time, and they're pushing the buttons because the buttons are there from previous encounters, previous experiences from the past, and then they all awaken when you become a parent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have days like that when I wake up and I think, oh, today is going to be like this and like that, and I have expectations, and I'm in this fantasy land, and then the child is grumpy or does something, and I'm like, oh, that's not how I wanted my day to be like, and they constantly bring us back to presence if we allow them to teach us. They constantly bring us back to being present, to the moment, to what is, not to our fantasy world, right?
Yeah.
That's truly an awakening. Like, okay, how do I respond now? How do I respond now? Sometimes we react. But what we talk about is being in a responsive mode, like, and that you can also only get when you are present.
Yeah. And with awakening, when when you really focus on that word, what it brings up for me is that with children, they question so much, and they question a lot of beliefs, a lot of cultural beliefs, a lot of ways that society is behaving, a lot of the rules. And when they question, if you really sit there and listen to that question and allow them to question and create that safe space for wondering, that within itself is an awakening. Why do we wear certain clothes? Why do we have certain manners? Why is it unacceptable to behave in a certain way? And for each culture is different, and for different families it's different. But why do things happen in a certain way? And do they have to be happening in a certain way? Do kids need to go to school? Do they need to be sitting down while they're studying? Do they have to, I don't know. I mean, there's so many of them, and awakening is coming out of that, you know, trying to remove the haze from the eyes to see clearly and to awaken from what we have been conditioned to believe and pressure to accept as people, you know, growing up in this world.
Yeah, they actually allow us to take away the layers, right? Because when you start answering them with well thought answers, not with because I said so, then you start questioning yourself, like, why am I telling them that? Why do I accept this? Why? And then we go to the root of it and we see, does this still stand for me or not? Is this still valid or not? And there's so much change in our world today. It's like it changes like lightning in some aspects. And then we come back and we think, do I really believe, or do I really want to do this for my child? Do I really, like, offering them devices or putting them in front of a screen, for instance? That's just something that came up for me right now. Just because everyone else does it, is this valid for me? Do I want that for my children? Why don't I want that, or why do I want that? And it allows us to stay in this forever questioning, in forever quest that goes on for our lifetime, right? To keep taking away the layers, to keep going back to the essence. I think that's what the awakening for me is, also going back to the essence of things and of beings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's something that comes to mind now also. It's about mirrors, because children are our mirrors. How do they also wake us up? It's in the allowing them to show us what's already within. Like when we are bothered by them doing something, to question ourselves. What does this say about me? How is this within me? How does this show up for me, in me, right? To always bring it back to us.
Yes. How can I grow from this? How is this an area that I need to grow, or I need to look at, or I need to work on? What's this bringing up in me? Absolutely. And it would then keep coming up again and again and again until we dare look at it. And, you know, have the courage to look within and heal that part of ourselves, that it then no longer triggers us.
Absolutely.
And it's not that the behavior is not going to happen, so the trigger will still be there, but we'll see it for what it really is. For example, you know, my child is not playing a music instrument, and this is something that I wish I had done when I was younger. And then, you know, that would trigger me if he's not playing, because this is a, you know, a dream or a fantasy I had. Now, looking at it once and having that awareness, he might still choose not to play, but I would then look at it as it's, you know, it's his choice. And I could encourage him, I could speak to him, maybe see, you know, is he interested in a different instrument? Is he not interested in an instrument at all? But it wouldn't have that emotional charge of, why is he not playing? I want him to play. I need him to do well, because, you know, this would then soothe something within me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be unfiltered, right? Because you take away the filter of, I want this. This is about me. This is my need. This is my want. And when you take that away, you are able to see the child right in front of you, just as he or she is, and with exactly what he or she needs. And then I'm able to respond to the child right in front of me, not to the one that I have in here.